Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request. This time is from the movie reviewer next door, 45 from 2006. And for those who want to request any type of videos, PayPal is usually the best bet. Or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. This was for free on Tubi, and I still feel ripped off. I hated this movie. This is a movie this is how it starts. This is how the movie starts. Milla Jovovich, from the Resident Evil live-action films, The Fifth Element, she's staring at the camera, talking about her boyfriend, Big Al. She's like, Big Al, you know, he has a huge cock. You know, I would see it all. Oh my God. I could put it over my shoulder and burp it. And he would look at me and go, you think you handle that, baby? It'd be fun trying. I'm like, is this seriously a movie that started with Milla Jovovich talking about how her guy has a big dick? Put over her shoulder and burp it. We're not a minute in, and I'm thinking, oh my fucking God, man, what is this movie? So the movie, like I said, Milla Jovovich and her boyfriend Big Al, played by Angus Macfadyen, who I recognize. He was the bad guy in the Christian Bale film Equilibrium. So they like to sell guns, or at least he does. And you tell that she wants to leave, and he likes it there. Now, it's funny, like the first chunk of the film plays off as kind of a meh comedy, where we're introduced to the characters. We have this lady who's a lesbian who has the hots for Milla Jovovich's character. You have Stephen Dorff in the film, who is friends with Big Al, and you get the idea that he's horny all the time, and you get the idea that he has a crush on Milla Jovovich's character. But throughout the film, he keeps talking to the lesbian, like just trying to convert her. What, you Ben Affleck? And she keeps rebuffing him. And it's this weird thing where the first chunk of the film, I'm sitting there going, Milla Jovovich seems more nasty to the boyfriend than Big Al is to her. Because Milla Jovovich is like slapping him and saying, you know, don't be a fucking woman, and she's slapping him and like all this other stuff. Other stuff that happens is a thief breaks into their place and Big Al beats him up and waits for the cops to come get him. And it does this weird thing where every once in a while the movie will stop to have a character turn to the camera and talk. So the movie will keep going, and then here's Big Al's mom talking to the camera about how I didn't raise a murderer, the streets did. Or I didn't smoke during pregnancy. I didn't even drink other than some beer and vodka or something. But that's alright. Or Stephen Dorff will talk to the camera and talk about how he hates Big Al and, you know, someone should kill him. Or this other guy talks to the camera and, oh, Big Al ain't nothing. I'm Puerto Rican and I'm a badass and blah, blah, blah. This stuff of stopping the movie to look to the camera screws up the pace of the film. It stops the movie dead in its tracks, and they don't offer anything worth a shit to say. It's either stuff we could already know, already tell, or it's just in the way because the director thinks he's Tarantino or whoever the fuck he thinks he is. It's like a bad wannabe Tarantino film. Without the action, without the wit. That's another thing. This film is very misadvertised. You look at the name, it's part of the name of a gun. You look at the posters, almost every poster is Milla Jovovich with a gun. She never shoots a single goddamn gun in the movie. You think it's about her gonna kill the... Nope, it's not that type of revenge. And some, maybe not the poster I have here, but some posters made it look like it's like a remake of Miss 45, and it's not that either. So instead, like I said, it's kind of Milla and Big Al kind of fucking around, being a couple. Like I said, they mess with this thief, they try to steal their stuff and broke their TV. Or Milla talking with Big Al, and Big Al like, or he's talking with the lesbian chick, and Big Al like puts his pants down and farts, and the lesbian goes, "Well, this is why I'm into girls." Or Steven Dorff trying to talk to Milla about how he loves her, and then trying to pick up the lesbian. And this is pretty much what happens for the first chunk of the movie until one scene where a Puerto Rican guy had touched her and she rebuffed him. But Big Al, who by this point, I mean, everybody seems scummy. They kind of seem the same type of scummy, including Milla. And like I said, in the first chunk, it felt like Milla was more abusive to Big Al than vice versa. I didn't slap him in the face and, don't be a fucking woman. And she tells him that. Then all of a sudden, because the one guy touched her when they get home, he beats the shit out of her. Smacks her, throws her in the mirrors, completely fucks her up. Completely fucked up on the side of her face. And so then the next day, the lesbian chick sees her, tries to comfort her. Steven Dorff sees her, is pissed off, tries to fight Big Al. Spoiler alert, he gets a gun. You think shoots her, but just grazed her. And then Milla starts seeing this therapist lady played by Aisha Tyler. And then the second half of the film is either Milla being depressed, throwing shit in her apartment, like she tells about how she wants to go to the beach, and in her apartment there's these shells, and she fucking throws them, and yelling, "Fucking shells!" Which wasn't supposed to be funny, but something about that made me laugh. Bonding with the therapist. And the stuff with Steven Dorff and the lesbian lady, nothing really goes with it. It's just this circular pattern of they each say they're going to kill Big Al, but neither do anything about it because they're all talk and no action. And I'm sitting there going, does Steven Dorff need the paycheck that much? Because he really does nothing in this movie. Spoiler, there's one thing he does. He successfully turns the lesbian chick into being. Guess she was always bi, but it seemed like she was only into women, but now at the end she's going to go screw Steven Dorff and she's bi now. That's like the only thing Dorff succeeds in. And I like Steven Dorff. I like him in The Gate. I like him in Blade. He's not bad in the film, it's just he has nothing to do. He has nothing to do in the movie. And then, like, Milla is not doing a bad job acting, to be fair. And I'm a guy that has criticized Milla Jovovich in a lot of movies she's done. Her acting here is a bit better than other movies. And the way she's... and I liked the therapist lady at first. I thought Aisha Tyler did a good job. Where she seems to be the only sensible one. Really the only one to truly root for. She's dealt with abuse herself. She's trying to help this lady and goes, hey, I want nothing out of it. I actually do want to help you. This is when the movie really hit the wall and made me go, this movie sucks. Because it wasn't big on it. Again, when your movie starts off with Milla's, this guy, Big Al, got a big cock, so big. What the fuck? Like, is that the way you want to start your movie? And like I said, the whole stopping every 10 minutes to have someone talk to the camera, because we thought that was a clever idea, which it wasn't. It just felt arbitrary. and unneeded. It screwed with the pacing of the film. It didn't really bring anything noteworthy in terms of information, at least not to me. Pretty much her being more steered to Big Al, her wondering what she's going to do, her bonding with the therapist, the lesbian chick and Steven Dorff talking. One leads to another. Super spoilers. Steven Dorff. No, not Steven Dorff. I wish it was Steven Dorff because I wish he had something to do in this fucking movie. Some guy who pissed off Big Al, he gets wounded, and when he gets wounded, he looks over and he sees someone wearing a shirt, a coat that says Big Al. So the next morning, Big Al walks out, he gets arrested. So Milla Jovovich has talked with him while he's in jail, and he's like, listen, you're my alibi. And she whispers and says, you sure about that? Don't do this, I'll fucking kill you. No, listen, you better watch what you say, because I got the power. I thought Milla Jovovich did a decent job showing her intensity throughout the scene, like a tear comes down her face, showing her emotion. Pretty much what you get the idea is that first there's this weird scene where it seems like she had sex with 3 people, and I'm sitting there going, was this all in her imagination, or did she really have sex with 3 people? The lesbian chick, Steven Dorff, and the therapist. I'm sitting there going, was this, again, did she have sex with all 3, or are we supposed to imagine she had sex with all 3? And then we find out that she set him up, and the person that helped her was not Steven Dorff, was not the lesbian girl, but the fucking therapist. And then I guess she was the one with the coat, and she talks to Milla, and Milla says, want nothing to do with you. Hey, I used you, but you said you didn't want anything from me. You were lie like the others. This whole thing just blew my mind. I'm sitting there going, why did the therapist do this with Milla? Where the hell did that come from? There's one minute where she's with Milla's in her apartment, and Milla goes, what, you freaked out that I've slept with a woman before? So all of a sudden that makes her just go, yes, I'm going to go fuck around with my livelihood that I built up for years and sleep with Milla Jovovich and do this illegal shit for her when... What the fuck? That made no sense. They came out of left field. It felt like it was just there for a shock value, lame ass twist. And then Milla comes off as a bitch because this person, you seduce this person, you use this person more than she used you. Like, you used the therapist more than she used you. Or the same. More or the same. Either, Milla, you used her more, or you used her as much. So, you're just as guilty. So, who the fuck am I supposed to root for? I know who to root for the least, which is Angus Macfadyen, which sometimes he has his accent, like Scottish accent, and sometimes it disappears. And sometimes it reappears. So Milla walks away. Steven Dorff is going to get it on with the lesbian chick. And the last bit is Milla Jovovich on a beach, looked at the camera saying, the best feeling in the world is taking care of number 1. And I guess she's going to be on the beach. I don't know if she's going to live on the beach. She's going to have sex with the lesbian Steven Dorff on the beach. I don't fucking care. because I don't care about any of these characters. I don't care what happens to them. I have no reason to root for these characters. Milla Jovovich was not that bad in the film. Steven Dorff wasn't bad. He just had nothing to do. Angus Macfadyen, I don't think he was as I don't think he was as bad as some people made it out to be. But just sometimes his accent would come and go. Sometimes the tone will have these kind of weird whiplash. Like I said, the good chunk of the film is a comedy. Then all of a sudden, it's this thing here. The revenge, I guess you say it's surprising because you think, okay, she's going to shoot him, she's going to kill him, someone's going to kill him. That didn't happen. So there's a nice change of pace, but at the same time, it just comes off as almost anticlimactic. The people just out of the blue, okay, I'm going to talk to the camera, I'm going to say stuff that you already know. Just felt as if it was a director thinking he was more clever than he was. Look how spiffy I am. And the whole therapist twist just came out of fucking nowhere, and it was just piss poor fucking writing, in my opinion. It was less, and more, what? Whenever a twist happens, and you're going, what? It's not a good twist, in my opinion. It's a shit twist. Plus, all the characters are pretty scummy. Like I said, the lesbian and Steven Dorff. The second half of the film, they were pretty pointless. Pretty pointless in it. Didn't really offer anything. Although, to be honest, I say that, and if the story was more about these two, Steven Dorff and his lesbian chick, and their attitude towards each other and how that changes, that might have been more of a interesting movie. Because despite me saying, when I say it's pointless, I mean to the whole, like, Milla Jovovich, like, for me, ultimately, it was, maybe pointless is the wrong word, but just not as important in the second half as you're made to believe in the first half. Other than, I guess, being red herrings for who did this. I guess that's really glorified red herrings. Just that was their point. But I would say the conversation between Steven Dorff and I don't remember the character's name, the lesbian chick. That probably potentially had more interesting story than anything else in this movie. About just about how they act towards each other, how they treat each other, and they're both kind of on equal footing. I'm like, can we just have a movie with just these two and develop their characters and develop their story? Because Milla Jovovich's character really isn't that interesting, and I don't really give a shit about her, and less, And or like the therapist, like, why did he have to have this lame ass twist? I guess just they'll never see this coming. You're right, I would never see it coming because it's fucking stupid. Plus the misleading advertising with the gun and the reason the 45 comes into place is that's the gun that was planted, that the one guy was wounded, and my fingerprints are on it. Angus Macfadyen says. The gun that was used, the 45, it has my fingerprints on it, so that's why it's titled that. I was not a fan of this movie. I thought this film sucked. I don't know what else to say, I'm just repeating myself. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.